it? Yes, the electoral period is now over. So what next for those individuals who lost in the just concluded parliamentary and presidential local council elections? Well, that's a conversation we're going to be talking about now right here on the show, Life After Politics. I do have Jonathan Simwe. He was contesting in the Hoima City MP race, and he did lose. He did lose to Isingoma. But then he is here to talk about life after politics. How has it been? What is he grappling with? Does he plan to petition like Robert Chagulanyi or other legislators who are actually in court trying to salvage their alleged wins? Why? Good morning, Jonathan Simwe.
Good morning, Awe.
So, unlike other individuals who have decided to run to court, you were telling me off air that you've decided that you're going to concede. Isingoma is now the Hoima City MP. So you're going back to life as a citizen?
No, automatically, like politics is like chess.
It's a game. Chess.
Yeah, me actually, I would always want to encourage the Ugandans and the country at large that when you come into politics, just notice like football match. Someone will say they have cheated me, then I'll ask you if you also cheated and won, then what would other people say? Me, I wouldn't take much time of thinking how I lost, but I would take much of time thinking how I won with those people and how can I work with them. Yes, but otherwise me, I feel comfortable that right now we are going back to work, and me already I'm working. As an engineer, I don't have time to keep thinking about the past because it is a journey, and everything you do is a journey.
Let's talk about failure to concede. Why is it that some people have refused to concede, even when it is, visibly clear that they lost, because the people decided to vote the other way?
No, what people, why they come to politics and fail to accept the two conditions. If you win, then you accept. But if you lose and don't accept, then that is a very bad vision you are looking at. And I would look at people investing in politics, but they are not working with people. Someone gets a loan of around 500 million and put all his assets in the bank, and then maybe sells, gets money from friends and hoping them good things ahead, that when I go through, I'm going to make you this, this, and this, and this. And finally, you lose out. And after losing out, then you think of the past and you think of the debts you're having. I think I would encourage the generation, most of the youth like me, if you're going into politics, you don't need to go into the bank. If you can't manage the small money to move you across to the constituency, I would always say that maybe that time hasn't reached for you to come in. But the moment you put your property at stance of politics, then politics is a service. It is not an investment. Someone is going to say that I'm going to invest in politics. No, it is business where we invest and expect what profits. I think my analogy now is coming that people are investing, but they are not going for service.
And that is the reality,
That's why
Mr.
they
Jonah.
are failing to concede.
And that is, Mr. Jonah, the reality, because someone investing his 500 million and then they lose, they'll go back and say, how come? I paid all the voters. I bribed everyone. So how come I lost? Over commercialization of politics. That's what we are dealing with. Do you think it's the reason why we've ended up with watered down list of leaders in this country? People who know nothing about policy, but simply because they were able to give us some kitu kidogo, we voted for that person.
Actually, now I can give an example. Like me, I'm an engineer for minerals and petroleum. And recently, we were given the oil city in our region. I know every type of the project which is going to happen in Bunyoro for the last at least 20 and above years. Then someone would think that Asimo is the best candidate for that region because the economy...
Of the skills that you have.
Yes, yes, of the skills I have. You have been given an oil city, then and you have an engineer for minerals and petroleum as the MP. There's no question. But now, if someone comes with billions of money and then puts in the people, and then the people in the morning they go and vote, then tomorrow they come back to you, Asimwe, we need to help. You help them because that is a service. Then you don't go back and say, you guys, you didn't vote me, you didn't do this one. Me, I would encourage that. Anyone who is
you don't pull back your ambulance?
No. No, it's like...
No, it's like,
no.
Oh, that was very
No,
funny.
it's like me. there are many things I've done. I began a foundation, Jonad Wayne Foundation.
Yeah.
I bought land for use, more than even 100 million. I bought land for use. I don't say now I'm going to build a hotel there because now I'm no longer, I've not gone to the parliament, but I'll continue with the vision because the vision keep running. If for you, you don't continue with it, there are people who are going to come after you because I look at the legit politics where someone trains the generation behind that. For me, if I don't manage to go where I'm expected or where I expected to go, but among my people around me who have been in my camp and who have been knowing our vision and where we are going, may come
and Jonah, this is in contrast with what happened within Koboko municipality. Evelyn Anite gives them an ambulance. You know, she loses on so many grounds in the primaries, and she decides, you know what, please give me back my ambulance. It's now packed at her residence. I mean, is this what we are dealing with? Politics of investment. If you do not vote for me, if you do not give me a position or so forth,
it is like
please give me back what I gave.
Yeah, it is like a tit for this.
So now Koboko municipality has no ambulance. No. It's only the district.
Actually, I would encourage Honorable Anite to leave the ambulance for the community because, you know, when you are giving, you just give.
Okay, this was her argument. She said, you know, the ambulance was, you know, painted yellow. It had all her pictures. It had Anite for MP, blah, blah, blah. So they were just removing a branded ambulance that had her names. She also said there were contestations from the other side, people from the opposition who were saying, we don't want this ambulance simply because it is painted with Anite and she's not the leader and so forth.
No.
Yes.
There goes for the research. If Honorable Anite removed that ambulance or recalled the ambulance because of the political failure, or maybe not going through, that's not okay. But if at all that people were saying that you take back your ambulance, well, and good,
it is branded,
you take
blah,
it.
blah,
Maybe can bring it still and give it to another community. Me, my Hoima State, they need an ambulance. I'll be glad if I get it and I give it to my people and I tell them our minister has branded us with a new ambulance because the minister doesn't serve on one constituency. Serve the whole country. But I think there, if at all it was done intentionally, I would urge that politician, more so these younger ones who are coming, like in my age of 30s and 20s, who are coming into politics, let's not commercialize politics so much because I feel bad when a younger man like me, I have worked for a few years, like 4-3, and I have managed to put on a few things across. Then I come into politics because I want to hook some money, and then I end up going into deals because many people come to you personally. To me, people could come to me, they tell me, Asimwe, we want to give you a loan of 500 million, 600, you put in your house. I said, no, please, the house was not part of the service. Yeah, this is a home for people and a home for my dear ones and anyone around me. But when it comes to politics, the agenda for politics is also quite different. So that when I don't go through, I don't need to hate my people. Because I see the house has gone, the land has gone, vehicles have gone. So I encourage people not to endure into that kind of commercialization. Let them serve people diligently, and if they go through, it's thank God. And if you lose, you have not lost, but you have gained experience of something.
So we are dealing with politics of, you know, selfish interests, politics of investment. I invest during the electoral period, then when I get into parliament, isn't that the biggest problem? Because this person is going to focus too much on bringing back the 500 million that they spent during the campaign period. And voters never see these politicians until the last cycle, let's say 2025. That's when you'll see these politicians coming back to the communities, trying to do some developmental work. Is that what politics has become in Uganda? I go into parliament, I sit, I eat money, and then bam, I wait for the next election.
But I think even the community is to blame, and also the civic organizations, those ones who deal with the community sensitization during political time. They have not done much work, and I call upon them to do more work, because a voter should know why he's voting. It's like America. I had a friend who was going back to USA to vote. I was like, you're going to pay all all of this money. And this person didn't mind of the $3,000 going to pay for the flight, but he was minding about the vote. He's going to do what? To cast. Then I'm looking at also that Ugandans, most of us, we need, I think, to go back on the drawing board. Why do we need leaders? Because me as Simwe, like me, I look at the productivity of the youth. Right now, if you look at the percentage of the youth who are paying tax, they are less than 8%. I'm telling you. And,
because they are not working.
Yes, and they are not working. It means most of us, we are not productive. Because if you look at the people who are contributing to the GDP, most of them, they are 50 and above. But imagine now, there comes that those guys are no longer doing business very well. Where are we going?
Indeed, and you mentioned a very good point. So as a civilian, post-election period, what do you intend to do to help citizens within your jurisdiction without necessarily actually engaging in politics?
Actually, me, right now, even I began immediately. They announced I had to go on different medias, and I told people, now let's go back to work. And right now I'm trying to position these members in different areas according to their techniques and according to their technology. Even I'm trying to encourage the youth to join even the agri business. Actually, I have drafted already a very big project where I want to interest all the youth, because youth now, they have gone so much digital, and this kind of data things, if you don't involve technology there, like agriculture, if I put an app of agriculture and I try to interest them in the marketing and getting small money, I'm going to see the youth, most of them coming into agriculture, because actually you are giving them what they want. But if you buy them a Hoya and tell them that, please guys, come and Gambutus are here, you go and do, they say no. But if you bring an app, you market different markets in Sudan, in Tanzania, Uganda, and wherever, I would see the guys, I think, joining the culture sector, because even though we are booming on oil and gas, we are booming on oil and on iron and steel, but agriculture is going to stay for the years. And you can look at most youth
11 million vacancies.
Yes, most of them, they are withdrawing. And in Africa is one, I think, of the continents where we are having most of them younger people. And I would urge that the leaders who have won and who have gone through, I would urge them to look at these youth, because we youth, when we become unproductive in nature, like me, if I calculate myself, how much tax do I pay by the end of the year per annum? How much tax am I contributing to the development of my country? And also, you go to UK, how much tax a teenager of 18 years who has already begun playing football and is paying to the nation. I think that's what Uganda we should be looking at, that our youth should be productive. And there are people who are using these youth for politics. Making noise after making noise, someone just goes back in the village and suffers and so on. I would call that me as Simwe and maybe those other leaders, we come together and we work together. Like me, I promised my MP who went through, yes, Singoma, that we are going to work together, because I have the agenda to make sure that our country in the future,
of course, that is an admirable posture, Mr. Asimo. But we would like to know, what will it take to get rid of the political impasse that this country is currently grappling with? You have politicians who are not conceding, government talking about people, unscrupulous individuals who want to burn down the country. You have other people from the opposition who are saying we are giving President Museveni 1 year, and the same people are in court. So what will it take for us to get rid of this political impasse we are dealing with?
I'm going back to the voters and the civic organizations, that we need to educate why a person votes. We need to educate why do we need voting. Then when we look at the question you have directed, the people who have failed to conceive are giving 1 year to His Excellency. You know, even though the president is your brother, even though the president is from your own clan, but if you don't wake up and work, if you don't wake up and put your knowledge God gave you, if you don't wake up and use the resources around you, if you don't wake up and use the internet you are having, you are not going to go anywhere. I would think that if someone had money in the bank and you don't know how to use that money, you die poor. So me, I would think if at all the president, that is YKM, has gone through, okay, you have petition, that is okay for everyone who feels that is not is not well feeling that maybe he has been won. So that's also the experience. There are people who have come to power after 30 years. There are people who have come to power after 10 years. If you have tried and see that people have loved you, then you look at those 3 million people, maybe 2 million people or 1 million people who have voted for you. You go and empower them and work with them. Tell them, you guys, you voted me, 1 million people. How am I going to change that 1 million people who have voted me? But don't look at the many, the 5 who didn't vote for you, and you begin asking them, why didn't you vote for me? First, consider a person who went and voted for you. Why did he go and vote for you? There is a reason. That's why I would think that it is time for them to calm down. Let us work for the development. This country is very big, has a lot of things to work with. If you're not a president or not an MOP, it doesn't call off your responsibility.
Jonathan Simwe, a week after the electoral period, we are still getting information that some people who were abducted or arrested during the electoral period are still missing. What do you make of this as a civilian now?
Now, I would say that I don't have much knowledge that some people were taken or abducted and still missing. But however, on social media, maybe on some media, radios and so on.
Are you proud to have participated in an election that has seen people being held incommunicado, people missing?
Actually, I would say that if a human being, no one can be proud of that because me, myself, there are many things I would not talk what happened in my constituency. And I would think that all things are constant. Whatever happened, there was what? There was a reason. But I would think that the authorities, if there is anyone who has been held for nothing, they would come out, please, and serve their community. But me, I may not be there to say that I'm proud because of this, because if it was my brother or my sister, I wouldn't say that I'll let him be there because he was not he was not in my camp. I would also encourage those ones like me. If people take my example, after the elections, I called most of my people who were opposite my camp and who were active the other side.
Indeed.
I would call them and say, hello, Joseph. Thank you for this. Really, it was a good exercise. However, this time you took it, but next time I'm calling into my camp. Please be on my side. These guys were getting surprised because they would go on media, talk all ill because it is a game. They want their opponent do what? To win. But finally, when the game is done, just put everything down, call those people back, sit on the same table, and then you move on.
Jonathan Simwe, as a former political actor in this electoral process that has just concluded, what advice would you give the stakeholders who are involved in the management of the same elections so that next time there's a conducive environment where such incidences of violence, such incidences of kidnappings do not take center stage as we proceed to 2026?
I think my advice I would give more so the management beginning from the Electoral Commission. There are things which were done right and others delayed and others were not done better, and they affected us mostly, we candidates. I think if the election is going to be 2026, why can't the registers be done already by 2025?
I hear you.
So that everyone is already, he knows where he's going to vote and so on.
No panic mode.
Yes, if there are some challenges that maybe someone is not on the register, then he can rectify. But the issues of bringing the register and when it is 2 weeks that someone is going to confirm his name, many people lost. They didn't vote because they would find themselves in different areas. And also, the Electoral Commission should ensure that the laws which were enacted to manage this election are fulfilled, because it is very bad to see a candidate paying money to the voters directly. And the returning officer is in the district, is there, is watching these things, nothing is commenting. So I think that the management, it has some gaps somewhere where they need to strengthen. And also, if you hear the whole Uganda, that no returning officer has been maybe withheld because of corruption, then that one, there is a gap. At least you would hear that maybe
at least 2 or 3.
2 or 3, or even 30, because most people, they had to go for that, because we know them that they have been there and have been doing it, so that in the next time when someone has been given that office, should respect it. And
the issue of nomination fees, it hindered many young people from actually exercising their constitutional mandate.
That one, it is true. The money they put for the MPs.
Should we reduce
it is a simultaneous way. It is a simultaneous way. Number one, it is to regulate, because there are some people who come into this thing just let me go and they see me, let me go and they see me. When they put maybe some money, like they say this money here, someone, no, I can't lose that money.
But if you put money or a cap on nomination, doesn't that mean that politics is left for individuals who only have money to spend?
Yeah, logically, what you what you are saying, it is true.
I might not have a shilling as Simwe, but I could be having the prowess, the skills, the knowledge and intelligence to actually develop my country.
The person before you, I'm one of the skilled younger guys in this country. I want to tell you, I can compete on world projects and I win them. But if you see that I have not gone through, I still have my knowledge and I can still put it into use for my community. Maybe I would think that when it comes to commercialization, someone is going to move a vehicle. The whole constituency, maybe of 160 villages, you're going to need money. Isn't it? That one is going, it is traditionally that when you call people like 40 people into your courtyard and you call them to tell them your good ideas, these guys afterwards will say, please, we are going back. We came with a motorcycle. We came with whatever. We need fuel. You have to put in money. I think by the time you end campaigns of 3 months, you may not be less than 200 million. Then if someone asks you 2 million to pay for nomination, logical also, he can challenge you over that by the time you go in, you may not need to be so much that you're having billions of money, but you should have the manageable. If you go to an institution like Makerere University, maybe you go to any university, you have knowledge, but can you manage this for yourself to be there? I think it's logically explained. Your
last clarion call, Jonathan Simwe, to the losers in the just concluded presidential, parliamentary, and also the local level elections.
Okay, I would say that lastly that I'm calling upon all the guys whom we stood together, and also the whole country. You have not lost today. And just know that you have won with the margin, and you need to work with those people who won. And you have good program. That's why people gave you votes. And don't give up on your work. If at all you had work you were doing, make sure that you continue, you develop your skills. In the next elections, you are better to go. Thank you.
Jonathan Simwe, thank you very much for having made the time to speak to us. You couldn't have been spot on the the point. I mean, we have to forget this electoral period and move on to a harmonious environment.
By the way, I have forgotten one thing is to congratulate all the youth MPs who have gone through. Yeah, most of the youth MPs who went through. Actually, I congratulate the Northern Region, Eastern Court, everywhere, Rugomayo, Chirabo. I congratulate you that you did well.
Jonathan Simwe, for you, thank you very much for having made the time to talk to us. Of course, let's talk about another contentious situation. There is at least, yes, some people